Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN. This is your girl MF Michael Fletcher, alongside the guys Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock, and we are going to go into a lot of coverage here tonight. So we're gonna obviously start off with Night of Champions that went down yesterday afternoon from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Then we're gonna recap TNA, Slammaverisary, and tonight's NXT Great American Bash. And for all you soccer fans out there, an added bonus, I will also be recapping Canada versus South Africa for the first time right here on this channel. We're gonna be doing a live recap of that game as the FIFA World Cup has now gone into the knockout stages. So we'll give you that here today. So with that said, we're gonna start out with the Night of Champions. We start out with the King of the Ring final. It's Obafemi going one-on-one with Jey Uso, winner of the bout in 8 minutes, and King of the Ring, Oba Femi. He wins it all. Look, it was a solid matchup. This was about 2.25, 2.5 stars. And to me, I called this. I said it for the whole world that I thought Oba was going to win the King of the Ring. I know there was a lot of people that was a little trepidatious because of the Brock Lesnar situation, thinking Brock was going to show up. That was going to give Jey Uso the King of the Ring win. And those prognosticators got it wrong. I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. I thought Oba was going to go on to win King of the Ring, and I thought that he was going to do double duty. Fight Brock Lesnar night one, go after Roman Reigns night two. But after what I just saw, and we'll talk about the WWE title match, my opinion may have just changed on everything. And if this is true, Anthony Florio, you might be kissing Oba Femi goodbye and welcome to SmackDown Oba. I'll give you my reason why I just said that in a minute. 2.25 to 2.5. Oba wins the King of the Ring. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yes. It was egregious to think this would be much more than what it was. A short and sweet squash for Obafemi. That isn't to say Jey Uso scored zero offense whatsoever, however. The bout was as competitive as it needed to be, but in the end, Oba dominated a majority of it, as he should have, and went over in decisive fashion. Despite being a former world heavyweight champion and incredibly accomplished overall, Jey Uso is simply no match for Obafemi. So giving him an ounce of optimism only for him to ultimately fall short was the correct call. Keeping it on, keeping it on the shorter side and not watering it down with any interference was the way to go. Solid 2.5 stars for me on this, so not much more to add. Michael Bullock, come on in. Obafemi, King of the Ring. He does it in 8 minutes. This was a tough one for us because we love to yeet with Jey Uso, as we did a couple of weeks ago, but no yeeting. It's Oba strut time.
And it was also tough, Florio, because we all thought that maybe Jay was going to win because of the Brock Lesnar situation. I thought maybe Lesnar was going to show up, screw Oba over, and set up. But no, I mean, I'm actually glad that they went with this. I mean, and Florio, you've told me this so many times when we had our chat. Obafemi is ridiculously over, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So why kill the momentum when he is about as hot as I would say he's about as hot as anyone in WWE right now. So this was the right call. I'm happy that Oba gets his
Oh, okay. What happened here? Bullock just.
Well, let's keep in mind Michael Bullock is not in his usual locations. So,
All right,
Yeah,
Bullock.
Bullock,
We got
are you
you.
good?
We got
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Let's as a quick reminder, I'm here in Conway, New Hampshire, in a cabin. So I still, yeah, I'm on vacation with my family. So I do have connections. So there could be times I might drop. So you'll have to wait, see when. But anywho, as I was saying before, I was so rudely dropped. Um, yeah. So now the $1 million question is, who does he go after? And after what you just said, Fletch, yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, could he go after the WWE title? Who knows? I mean, we may get our answer Monday night on Raw. So there's really nothing more to say. 2.5 stars is my rating. So with that being said, Fletch, let's move on to our other final, which is the Queen of the Ring tournament final.
Yes, it was. It was the Queen of the Ring tournament final. Io Sky going 1-on-1 with Liv Morgan, and Io Sky wins it all in 14 minutes and 55 seconds. And let's just say it wasn't because of Roxanne Perez. It wasn't because of Raquel Rodriguez. Wasn't because of the fact that Stephanie Volker returned. She got
Mm-mm-mm.
cursed by Danhausen. Danhausen cursed Liv Morgan before the match, and that led to her downfall. The Danhausen curse strikes again. Io wins Queen of the Ring, and Io did not even hesitate. She called her shot. She's going after Liv again, and this time it will be for the women's world title at SummerSlam. It is now official. Anthony Florio, Io wins it 14:55. She is the Queen of the Ring, and she will face off with Liv Morgan one more time at SummerSlam, US Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota, on August 1st or August 2nd. It is yours.
There was a bit of uncertainty surrounding the outcome, but definitely not after the curse, which is a shame because the two ladies went on to deliver a quality bout. Needless to say, this went almost double the time as Obafemi and Jey Uso, and thankfully so. Some of Liv's best bouts in recent years have been with Io Sky, and she put forth another commendable performance here. Crowd was into the action and responded favorably to Io Sky's victory. Following her win, Io announced that she chooses to challenge Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. That confirms the rematch in 5 weeks, and Morgan's probably not going to defend her title until then. Something she has not done since winning it at WrestleMania. Absolutely ridiculous. And much like with Oba and Jay, the lack of outside interference was very much appreciated. Raquel and Roxanne might have to hear about that from Liv tomorrow on Raw, and that should tease more tension within the ranks of the Judgment Day. So I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as possible because we have a whole lot of content to get into here. So try not to take too much time. So I'll give this about 3 1/4, 3.5 for the effort. So not much more. Michael Bullock, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, rematch at SummerSlam for the women's world title, as it should be.
Yeah, I mean, this was the right outcome here. 3 1/4, 3.5 for me. I mean, and Liv Morgan, you should have learned from other people who tried to mess with Danhausen, and being the cocky, arrogant bitch that you are, you decided, oh, give me my money back from the Judgment Day, and then that's when Danhausen decided to curse you, and then to further it, Fletch, she further sealed her fate by deciding to slap Danhausen. I mean, this is why, I mean, some people thought that Liv's arrogance was going to be her downfall. And that's what we saw here in this match. And now she's gonna have to defend the title against Io at SummerSlam, and that all but confirms, like Florio said, Fletch, she's not going to defend the title until SummerSlam, which and I mentioned this before on one of our shows. It's a damn shame because she's had. I know they said she had a title defense, but it was at a house show, so I'm not counting that. So she hasn't had an official title defense on TV since winning the title at SummerSlam. I mean WrestleMania, for gosh sakes. So I pretty much said what I said this past week, so I'm not going to further talk about it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I totally agree with everything you guys are arguing about. I mean, there's a valid point here, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But yeah, Io winning was no big surprise. I kind of felt like going in that she was probably going to win it, and then yeah, the Danhausen thing just kind of sealed the fate and pretty much confirmed everything we knew that was going to happen there. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, all right, that's it. That's gonna, yeah, Io's gonna win. She's gonna become Queen of the Ring, and then she most likely is gonna go after Liv again, because the thing is, we only have one valuable champion right now because Rhea Ripley's hurt. Rhea Ripley is out of action right now, after sustaining that injury, and she hasn't even been seen or heard from since, so we don't know what's going to be capable. But obviously WWE wants to protect their champions. They want to protect them in any way. It's not the same rules as they applied to back in the day, where you can defend your title, you have to defend your title 30 days or else you're going to lose the belt. No, they're playing the model of the UFC now, because this is TKO. Let's be realistic here, folks. So it's whenever you defend your title is whenever you defend your title. There's been guys who who normally waits 3, 4, 5, 6 months before they defend their championships again, because this is how UFC has always operated. But as long as you give us the premium matches, give us the fights that we want, then we're not gonna complain. We're not gonna get upset or anything else. And it's not like it's anything that can be related or distorted or anything else. That's how wrestling has been, So it is what it is. All right. So with that said, let's just move right on along. Then we went into a match inside the confines of a 15-foot high steel cage. It was Seth freaking Rollins versus Braun Breaker. Seth Rollins winning the match in 19 minutes and 5 seconds. Michael Bullock, it is yours.
Yeah, I thought this was a solid steel cage match, and I'm going to give this I'm going to give this an even 4 for the effort here, and I'm going to say this right here, and I don't know how you're going to feel about it. Good match, but to me, the wrong outcome. Because here's the thing. What happened Monday night on Raw? Seth freaking Rollins
got the upper hand on Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and we were thinking Braun Breaker, and he needed this match more than Seth Rollins does. And yet you give the match to Seth Rollins. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got nothing against Seth Rollins. But did he really need this win more than Braun Breaker?
Yes, he did. Because Braun beat him a month.
Hold on, Fletch. I'll let you give your thought when it's your turn.
Okay.
I'll let you give you your thoughts, but this is just my opinion. So, but we'll let you. So I'm just gonna keep it short here. So 4 stars for me. So Fletch, it's yours. So yeah, give us your opinion why you feel like this was the right outcome.
because of the fact that Seth Rollins lost to Braun Breaker at the last pay-per-view. Now they're 1-1. Now they're even. But the thing is that Seth won this on his own. He didn't have the interference. He didn't have the vision. Because of the fact that they got neutralized by that steel cage. To me, this was the end of the rivalry. And if you want to know why Seth Rollins needs that win, it's because he's the one that's going after Roman Reigns. He's the one that's going for the World Heavyweight Championship.
SummerSlam?
Yes, that's why. And this is the reason why I'm putting all the cards on the table here tonight.
And why
Yep.
Oba is going to go after the WWE title.
I will explain in a little bit. But yes, that's exactly why. That my theory is coming. This is why I got a working theory in my head right now, Michael Bullock. So
And why it's all coming together.
Yes. Again, I will bring it at appropriate moment. It's not time yet for everything. Okay. Disagree on your rating. 4.5 stars. To me, this was the fight of the night, and I'll even go as far to say it. This is in my top 5 for matches of the year because that's how I felt like this match was. I thought this was an incredible fight, to say the very least. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
There's one small correction that needs to be made here. Yes, Braun won the first match, but let's not forget, these two had a rematch on Monday Night Raw at the start of this month. That Seth won. And then Seth goes over ultimately here. And with all due respect, Michael Bullock, I got to go with MF on this one. They got this one right. Because it will be Seth freaking Rollins and Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's not worry about Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is going to be fine. He's got so much life left ahead of him. His future is very bright. Don't worry about him. He's going to be fine. More than fine. So we got nothing to worry about when it comes to the unpredictable badass here. So anybody who's worried about it, don't. Adding to Breaker's stellar showing was the fact that he bled toward the end, presumably unintentionally. And Braun is going to bounce back eventually. There is no absolute question about it. And very incredible. This definitely was the fight of the night here. No question about it. The cage itself was the selling point of the stipulation. They had quite the entertaining, hard-hitting affair. Rollins endured several spears and Breaker didn't go down easily. It was a war, plain and simple. So that is all that needs to be added and said about all this. So I know there are some people who feel that this is the wrong outcome. If you're asking if this was the wrong outcome, the answer is no. They got this one right. Plain and simple, 100%. If MF didn't jump in there when he did, I would have made the point for him. I would have made the point at first. So, Reigns Rollins, World Heavyweight Championship. There's your main event of SummerSlam. Book it. MF, go.
Trick Williams puts the United States Heavyweight Championship on the line against Ricky Saints. Winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 50 seconds was Trick Williams. And you know what? Fine matchup. A little bit of a cool down fight. Not much of a cool down, but a little bit of a cool down fight. This was a fine matchup. About maybe 2.5, close to 3 stars. And Trick deserves the match, deserves to win. Doesn't need to Trick doesn't need to lose the title, not yet. It's going to be a little bit before he does. So Trick wins, solid match. Anthony, go.
I'm thinking Trick Mello at SummerSlam.
I think so. Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
Because let's not forget, Mello's also in the equation, and Ricky blew his opportunity. So I think Mello's next. So give us the Trick Mello gang. And that's all there is to say on that. All right, now, what a year it has been for Trick Williams, who arrived on SmackDown at the onset of this year, quickly captured the love of the fans, went on to win the U.S. title at WrestleMania, and has been a recurring highlight since. Ricky Sainz does not have the same momentum, but he does have promise, and this match showcased it. It was a well-worked bout, with Sainz proving that he excels as both a wrestler and a character, leading to the biggest reaction he's received yet on the main roster. The crowd was quiet for almost the entire match, but it was an admirable effort from both. Trick needs to continue defending the Star-Spangled Prize consistently to maintain the prestige that Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov, and Carmelo Hayes gave it during their respective reigns. So I'm going to give this in excess of 3.25, 3.5 stars. Not much more to say because we got a lot to get into. Michael Bullock, let's get your quick thoughts here.
Yeah, 3.25. Yep, whoop that trick indeed. 3.25 for me. I mean, this was indeed the right outcome. I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more for me to add to it. I mean, yeah, Trick and Mello at SummerSlam, I see that happening. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Next up, we had was Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship. And the winner of the bout, 7 minutes and 35 seconds. And still, the United States Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. Anthony, she successfully defends the title.
By default, worst fight of the night. 2.5. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill's matches have been hit or miss since SummerSlam last year, so while there was nothing out of the ordinary about this bout, at least they worked a frantic pace and there was never a dull moment. It became clear that there was no interference in any of the other matches on this show because WWE was saving it for this one. B-Fab and Michin attempted to assist Jade to victory, only for Chelsea Green and Charlotte Flair to counteract them. While it was encouraging to see the women's U.S. title defended on a PLE for a change, this very well could have happened on any episode of SmackDown. It was not worthy of being saved for this event, given what we got. And Jade getting pinned on a third straight PLE, certainly surprising. She's going to be fine, provided the plan is for her to knock off Charlotte when they meet at SummerSlam. Plus, this loss was not clean like her losses to Rhea at WrestleMania and Clash in Italy. And WWE has done a decent job of keeping SmackDown's women's scene interesting in the absence of the injured Rhea Ripley. Charlotte versus Jade is a marquee match that does not need anything at stake, doesn't need a title, though it remains to be seen how well they'll click when the bell rings. So, by default, worst fight of the night, 2.5 stars. So, not much more. Michael Bullock, it's still Tiffy time for the women's U.S. title, but Charlotte and Jade, collision course for SummerSlam. Quick thought.
Yeah, 2.5 stars for me. I mean, right outcome. I mean, and yeah, this definitely sets up for Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair to face off at SummerSlam. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I do agree it was by default the worst fight of the night, and it was a solid matchup. And, Tiffany wins the title, keeps the title. Good for her. Charlotte and, yeah, I think Charlotte and Jade is probably the path we're going to be going. And yeah, at the end of the day, it was fun for what it was worth. So yeah, there was nothing more to say. So yep, really nothing more to add. We go to the main event, the triple threat for the undisputed WWE Championship, as it was the champion Cody Rhodes versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn, winner of the bout, 18 minutes and 40 seconds. And new undisputed WWE champion Sami Zayn, the last real good guy, is now the champion of the world. Michael Bullock, oh my goodness, can you believe this? Sami Zayn is the WWE champion.
What was the time again?
1840.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this about another about 4.5 for this one, but holy smokes! I mean, did anybody have Sami Zayn winning the WWE title on their bingo card?
No.
I mean, I certainly didn't. I mean, but yeah, I mean, for some, and you know what? I'm gonna be quite honest with you, Fletch. I'm gonna say it. It's about damn time for Sami Zayn, because he's been around for how long now?
13 years?
13 years. And ever since being on the main roster, I think in 2016,
Yep.
what's the one thing that has eluded him?
The WWE Championship. Yeah.
And now he finally has it. And what a moment for him. I mean, I'm so happy for him. I mean, this is a guy that's worked his ass off for 13 years, 10 on the main roster, and now he finally has it. I mean, he's won the Intercontinental title, he's won the tag team title, he's won the US title, and now he has the big one. And I'm sure somewhere out there right now, Fletch, Kevin Owens is one happy man. He's happy for his best friend to finally capture that gold. I mean, what a moment for him. But here's another thing, Fletch. What happened after the pay-per-view was over? Gunther went to the back and had another altercation with Nick Aldis. And he said, "You're jealous of me because you were never as good a wrestler." And I'm like thinking, "Oh, no, 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 no." And then he went on to put his hands on him, and it was a shouting match. A shouting and a shoving match. But so I don't know, Fletch. I mean, Gunther could be in big trouble because number one, well, first big mistake he did, he put his hands on an official when he was trying to back him up. But the biggest sin he committed was putting his hands on the general manager. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens, but I've heard some rumors, and this is only a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. Read into it what you will. I've heard about maybe a Gunther against Nick Aldis at SummerSlam. With the way things that have been going I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. But Fletch, I mean, yes, Sami Zayn wins the championship. What a moment for him. But it's what happened after the pay-per-view that I couldn't believe what happened. Gunther putting his hands on Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
He may be in big time trouble because you don't put your hands, especially when it's your boss, Fletch.
Well, if you remember on Monday Night Raw, didn't Braun Breaker put his hands on Adam Pearce?
Yes.
Like he did. So, and I think the punishment, and it was really not much of a punishment for him because it was because after that was when Braun got hurt. So they kind of went away from that storyline. It's kind of it was supposed to lead to something, and then it led to nothing because then Braun got hurt. So it kind of was a wasted thing. This one may lead to something though.
Yeah.
This one may lead to some fireworks. So yeah.
Yeah. Friday's going to be very telling to see what Nick Aldis is going to do.
Yeah. So
because as we say, you don't put your hands on the general manager, and Gunther may have to answer for his troubles.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens here.
And could Nick Aldis go as far as to maybe bringing Papa H into this situation?
He could. We'll have to wait and see.
And that's why I said Friday night is going to be very telling. But 4.5 stars for me. What a moment for Sami Zayn. I mean, like I said, it's been a long time coming for this guy, Fletch, as I give it to you.
It goes a number of different ways. There are a majority of people that are very happy. Kevin Owens, many people in WWE Universe, Becky Lynch, she posted how happy she was. Karrion Kross yelling finally because of the fact that he found out at a fan convention that Sami won the title, and he yelled out finally finally they did something right. Talking about how WWE did something right. And that's the main thing that I've been hearing. However, there are a lot of detractors as well. A lot of fans are not, some fans, not a majority, but there is a minority out there that are not happy that Sammy's the champion. A lot of people have been criticizing Sami Zayn for his body of work, his attitude, his work ethic, and a lot of people doesn't believe that he is WWE champion worthy. Now, I'm not going to speak for them. I'm just going to lay it out there because I wanted to let you know that it's not rainbows and unicorns and everything that's happening right now. There are some fans out there that are really pissed that Sammy's the champion. And some are even like, oh, well, Sammy's not even going to be champion going into SummerSlam, so who gives a crap? They believe Sammy's going to lose the belt at the Saturday night's main event in Madison Square Garden. And I hate to say it, but I'm in that majority. And here's the theory that I got. Sammy goes to Madison Square Garden. Let's say he does an open challenge. Let's say Brock Lesnar answers that challenge.
I was thinking that.
Brock takes the belt. Oba challenges Brock. And now you got Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi in one of the main events for SummerSlam. That's when Oba takes the belt. That's when Oba retires Brock, and you kill two birds with one stone. That's my theory. Number two, you do Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's your main event for night 2. That's where I go with the whole thing. 4.5 stars. Nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
All right. This storyline has salvaged SmackDown in recent months, largely thanks to Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. Gunther has played his role well, but it's really Cody and Sami doing the heavy lifting on the promo side to make this match feel must-see. These three had fantastic chemistry and kept the crowd engaged throughout. There was no shortage of suspenseful near falls and finishers exchanged. It helped that the outcome was genuinely unpredictable, so it could have ended at any moment. It came down to Cody and Sami in the middle of the ring, going back and forth, culminating with Sami stealing the pin to clinch to win the WWE Championship for the first time. This had an electric environment, and the crowd treated him like a total hero when he won, despite his character being portrayed as a tweener lately. It'll be interesting to see what Friday happens. And like Bullock said, it's about damn time. Sami has been such a compelling character this year that it would have been booking malpractice for him to lose yet again when it mattered most, especially in Saudi Arabia, where he is beloved. He doesn't need to have a long reign, but to have won it at all is exciting and well-deserved. It speaks volumes in a good way that Cody was the one Sami pinned. Granted, it was by a roll-up and nothing too decisive, but it was better than him not factoring into the finish. It would be disappointing for him to win the title back in short. It would be disappointing for Cody to win the belt back in short order from Sami. But again, this is way more preferable than Cody holding the title nonstop through SummerSlam. Where does Gunther go from here? It's nice that he wasn't the one who ate the loss, but he has no clear path forward now that he's failed to become champ on multiple occasions in the last month. It's safe to say a retirement match with Brock Lesnar is off the table as well. So it's understandable that fans of the Ring General would be skeptical. But the thing is, after the altercation with Nick Aldis, and it's been long rumored that Nick Aldis was eventually going to trade in the suit for the trunks yet again. And memo to Gunther, if it is him and Nick Aldis at SummerSlam, all I can say is, Gunther, don't start something you can't finish. Especially if you get the national treasure, Nick Aldis, the greatest NWA heavyweight champion of all time. Michael Bullock, what do you think about that?
Yeah, you talked about this before about Nick Aldis, and if we get this Nick Aldis, Gunther may have made the biggest mistake of his life.
The
MF.
only problem is that Nick Aldis has not been in the ring in over 5 years. I'm sorry, but I think Nick Aldis gets choked out by Gunther if that match happens.
Could be.
And I'm
Could
just
be.
being real honest
Very
with
well
you
could be.
boys. I think
That's
Nick
possible.
Aldis,
Maybe kill his wrestling career.
even though Gunther would be barking up the wrong tree, picking a fight with this guy, because of the ring rust and because of the fact that Aldis has not been in the ring for a long time, unfortunately, I think it's going to, and because Gunther is such a protected wrestler and is one of Triple H's favorites, there's no doubt in my mind that I think he would get, Aldis would get put to sleep by Gunther.
That's Gunther. Now, as a couple of other things, quick. As far as Cody Rhodes is concerned, you guys know I'm the president of the whoa movement here, but the thing is, he doesn't need the championship for a while. I got something. I got a great scenario for him. Now people are asking, oh, what's Cody gonna do at SummerSlam? CM Punk. That's what he's gonna do at SummerSlam.
Yep, I agree.
It does not, keyword, I repeat, it does not need the WWE Championship.
No.
Not yet. Maybe down the road. Maybe sometime down the line. But not now. You want to make SummerSlam the biggest party of the summer? You want us to get excited about it? You put Cody, because CM Punk is on his way. He's going to be coming back next Monday night, July 6th, Monday Night Raw. Where's it going to be? Oh, I don't know. Chicago.
Yep.
Where, and you know that's where we're going to get CM Punk right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been rumors, heavily rumored, that CM Punk is on his way to Friday Night SmackDown. What a coup for you, MF. And then you get plenty of time for Cody and Punk to marinate, and then you can do CM Punk and Cody Rhodes as a marquee as the match of the undercard right there. An unofficial third main event, if you really think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So Punk and Cody, SummerSlam, one-on-one, straight up. No title, no nothing. Doesn't need it. Not yet anyways. And the Brock Lesnar theory, MF? Absolutely. That's what I'm hearing as well. Madison Square Garden, Saturday night's main event, needs a marquee match, doesn't it? So there it is. Sami Zayn, Brock Lesnar for the title. Brock squashes Sami, maybe like he did to Kofi Mania on that first SmackDown on Fox in 19 in LA. So, or something similar to that. I don't know. But I can definitely see Brock Lesnar ending the run of Sami at Saturday night's main event. And then you make Brock and Oba even bigger. You do Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi for the WWE Championship. Oba wins the title and retires Brock Lesnar. You kill two birds with one stone. I think we pretty much did creative's job for them. You're welcome. So, not much more. This is my personal fight of the night. This was 4.5. Incredible main event with the absolute right outcome. Awesome moment for Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens tweeted how happy he was. Several superstars and wrestlers in WWE and all over the wrestling world have shown their love. I saw the Karrion Kross video earlier. That's awesome. So, it's a shame what happened to him, but that's a story for another day. But, it is what it is. So, 4.5 stars. Fight of the night for my taste anyway, although you can make an argument for the cage match also. But about damn time. Good for you, Sammy. You damn sure deserve it, buddy. And MF, aren't you forgetting something there, Monsoon?
Oh, that the history was made and that was an unprecedented crowning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, all right. I'll give you that. I'll give you it, boys. But yeah, incredible story, incredible ending. like we said, history made, and we do have a new WWE champion. So we don't need to really do an overall review on this one. We're just going to dive right into the next show, which was earlier today, TNA Slammaversary. So we're going to go to that right now. And here is what went down. Let's see. Hold on one second. If I can find it. Slammiversary.
Well, while you're waiting, MF,
Go ahead.
they had a big announcement made during the pre-show. A surprise appearance from the original Knockout, Tracy Brooks, and she made the big announcement that we've just added ourselves we just added a brand new championship belt for the Knockouts. We're going to have ourselves a Knockouts Television Championship. And starting this Thursday night on Impact, we're going to start a 16 woman tournament to crown the inaugural TNA Knockouts Television Champion. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Agnes Arena, Boston University, baby.
All right, here we go. So we started it out with the TNA, the Slammiversary with the Ultimate X. For the X Division Championship, the champion, Cedric Alexander versus the Amazing Red, Fabian Eichner, Frankie Kazarian, Casey Navarro, Leon Slater, and Mr. Elegance, winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Cedric Alexander wins it all and successfully defends the title. All right. This is one of those kind of matches. This is a staple of TNA and Ultimate X. Even though I wish the match would have been longer, I don't mind it. It was a good match. It was a good opener. Solid fight. I could say this was about maybe, about 3.25 stars. And oh, by the way, Anthony, after the match was over, Frankie Kazarian comes on the mic and drops a bomb on Amazing Red. Congratulations, brother. You are in the TNA Hall of Fame, and you're going to be inducted at Bound for Glory. So congratulations, Amazing Red. 2.5 stars is my rating. Anthony, it is yours.
No, you had it right the first time. 3 to 3.25 stars for this. A high energy, high risk match saw big bumps from all involved. Strong performance from Casey Navarro and Frankie Kazarian in Amazing Red, turning back the clock to 2002. The match was strong, featured some great showings from some immensely talented stars, and gave fans hope that the ultra-popular Leon Slater would regain the title, only to have Cedric snatch it away from him. It propelled things forward and set the stage for a high-stakes rematch between those two. And the show started with an emotional tribute to Joe Doring, who passed away earlier this week following a battle with brain cancer. And Amazing Red, returning to the TNA ring for the first time in 15 years, was beyond cool. A revolutionary whose influence on wrestling today, he does not get the credit he has earned and deserves. That was until Frankie Kazarian made the announcement that the Amazing Red will take his rightful place in the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. Special moment indeed. We don't have time to go through his accolades. We could maybe run that down as we get closer to Bound for Glory or something. So, but a pioneer of the X Division, 4-time champion in his own right. And yes, absolutely. I mean, he's had an influence on so many others, including Mike Santana. You saw Mike Santana on the stage. You know how much of an impact Red has had on his career. So, and he's had it on so many others. So, congratulations, Amazing Red. Well-deserved honor. We cannot wait to see you take your rightful place in the TNA Hall of Fame on October the 11th, Columbus Day weekend, as part of Bound for Glory at the USF Sundome, the Yingling Center in Tampa. So, awesome. So, 3.25, a little short for our next division match, but let's keep in mind they did have time constraints because they obviously didn't want to overrun it because, NXT was right behind them. So some of these matches didn't get the time that they usually would get, but that's the risk when you have all these shows in one day. So 3.25. Not much more. MF. Let's move on to our next match.
All right, next up we had was Elijah going one-on-one with AJ Francis. If Elijah lost this match, AJ Francis would get to own his likeness, the name, and the music catalog of Elijah. Well, Elijah wins it. Wins the match in 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
This was far better than it had any right to be. I mean, going into this match, I had no desire to see it. I was not. I didn't really have all that much excitement going into it, but oh boy, it may have been overbooked, but it also exceeded all expectations. Both men worked hard. Crowd was into all of it, and the result was a hella fun match. And that's all there is to say on that. So we don't want to take up too much time here. So solid 3 stars for the effort, and I'll even go as far, MF, as to call it my sleeper fight of the night. This was far better than it had any right to be. Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, sleeper fight of the night, 3 stars. I'll give you that. I thought it was a fine matchup. Could have been better, but like you said, this match had no business being as good as it was, and it actually delivered. So yeah, well done, fellas. All right, next up we had was the Knockouts Tag Team titles on the line, as it was the champions, the Elegant brand, and they were putting the titles on the line against the Demon and the Bunny. Winner of the bout in 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and new TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Rosemary and Allie. They win the titles. Another solid match, another close to 3 stars, like 2 3/4 of a star. Solid matchup. Could have been better in certain areas, but I'm not going to complain. But we did get the moment. History being made. It was an unprecedented crowning. Allie and Rosemary are once again on top of the TNA Knockouts division. Anthony, it's yours.
The Knockouts Tag Team division. Yes, absolutely. Another good, fun, quality bout in a string of them to start the show. Demon Bunny was a staple of the Knockouts division for a long stretch a decade ago, and for them to seamlessly return and capture gold made for a great moment. There is, and let me just say it like this. Rosemary, one of the greatest knockouts in company history, just won her 5th tag team title, has remained prominent and relevant for well over a decade and is perpetually over. That argument can definitely be made. And as for Allie, doesn't look like she missed a beat, despite being out of action for so long. She was great here, both on offense and when taking a beating. And the chemistry between these two teams were there. Running it back and establishing a legitimate rivalry between them could make for some strong TV. So, not much more. A solid 3 stars. And a personal favorite team of mine. I'm very happy to see them win the titles here, especially Allie. You know the love affair I've had with that one for the longest time, and I'm so happy to see her back. Not only happy to see her back, but to see her with championship gold. Wow, I didn't have that on my bingo card this year. No, I did not. So, another pleasant surprise. Solid 3 stars, MF. Let's set me up for the next match.
All right. Next up on the fight card we had was Mustafa Ali. This was an open challenge. Rich Swann answers the challenge, and Mustafa Ali wins the match in 10 minutes to successfully defend the international championship. Anthony, it's yours.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Which is?
There was a third man in this match. We had a third man in this match.
Uda Nation?
Uha Nation, a.k.a. Apollo. Apollo Crews. He's in TNA now. TNA got Apollo Crews. There was an angle during the pre-show. I guess you could say Rich Swann was Daria Ray's handpicked challenger for Mustafa Ali in the International Championship. And Santino said that I have one too. And we're going to have a 3-way match. And Santino's handpicked challenger, obviously, Uha Nation, formerly Apollo Crews. of WWE and NXT fame. So what ensued here was a fast-paced, high-energy bout that showcased the abilities of all three competitors. Special Agent Zero was the difference maker. He buried Uha under the steel steps, allowing Mustafa Ali to focus solely on Rich Swann, and that was that. The way he won that match, that backslide, unique pinning combination to win the match and keep the title, very, very good. I love that. I love that move that he did. To this point, it was the fight of the night. It had great pacing, never relented, and the fans were into all of it. Best of all, Mustafa Ali benefited from outside interference, but he beat Rich Swann fairly by out wrestling him. Clean cut wrestling move. That's what I would have said. So 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5. And Uha Nation is going to be a star in TNA. The former Cruz is a phenomenal wrestler who never found his footing in WWE. Allowed to be himself here, he should thrive. And Ali is an excellent heel. He has been for a long time. He was great here, as was Rich Swann, who looks to be in the best shape of his career. 3 1/4, 3.5. MF, what says you?
Yeah, I say about 3 1/4. I thought they did a fine job with the match. I think it could have been better in certain elements, but I'm not going to be too harsh about it. I thought like I said, I think they got the right outcome. So no doubt about it. Well done. Let's just move right on along. I believe we're getting close. Let me see what's going on here. Next up on the fight card we had was Moose going one-on-one with Eddie Edwards in a no surrender match. Basically, you had cornermen, or in the case for Eddie Edwards, he had his wife, Alicia Edwards, and basically you beat your opponent down to the point that your cornerman throws in the towel. If you throw in the towel, the match is officially over, and that said person loses the match. Well, it got up to 13 minutes and 10 seconds, and it was Moose winning it. Alicia saw enough, fearing for Eddie's health, she threw in the towel to end the match. Solid matchup, good fight. 3.5 stars is my rating. It like I said, it's the perfect way to end the rivalry. And the way they ended it was epic. Basically, Moose spearing Eddie and Alicia together through a table. And I think that is the end of this rivalry. Moose will be moving on to his next challenger, whoever that may be. Yeah, and the family got involved. That always brings a little added bonus to the match. I thought this was a really fitting end to this storyline. Anthony, 3.5 stars. It's yours.
Yeah, yeah, 3.5 stars for me as well. This was a sports entertainment heavy match, and it was great. Moose and Eddie Edwards knew what it needed to be and delivered with some great dramatic storytelling, a rare appearance from Moose's family, his wife and son, and a few throwbacks to Moose's previous appearance in the other No Surrender match. Good stuff, even if we have seen these two work each other too many times before. And Alicia never hesitates to take the big bump, and after watching his wife get manhandled by Edwards, it was only appropriate that Moose put her and Eddie through the table together. So, awesome moment there. 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. Very good match. And not much more to say. MF, we move on to our next championship title match, the Knockouts title on the line.
Xia Brookside going one-on-one with Ye Ling, and the winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 50 seconds, and new TNA Knockouts champion, Xia Brookside. She did it. She's done it. History made. I don't think I can say unprecedented crowning, but I will say history was made. We have a new champion, Anthony Florio. Xia Brookside is finally the Knockouts champion of TNA.
Indeed, she is. And 3 1/4 to 3.5 for this. Strong match with great psychology surrounding Xia's knee and or Lei Ying's knee and Xia's willingness to do whatever it took to win. TNA should consider running this one back because it feels like there is an even better match to be had. And Zaya's facial expressions and the look of disgust as Lei Ying entered the arena were phenomenal. So, deserving champion indeed. 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. Congrats to Zaya Brookside, the new knockout champion. So, not much more. 3 1/4, 3.5. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3 1/4, 3.5, no doubt about it. I thought they did a really incredible job with the matchup. There's really not much more for me to add on this one. So we're just gonna move right on along. Next up on the fight card we had was the 4-way ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. It was the champions, the system, Brian Myers and Bear Bronson versus the Righteous versus the Great Hands versus the Hardys. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout, 17 minutes and 30 seconds, and new TNA World Tag Team Champions. It was the Broken Hardys, Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero. I guess you could say you could classify them as obsolete.
Obsolete.
So
Obsolete mules.
obsolete mules indeed. We have new champions. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
There's nothing more for me to say except break out the green beans. Yes.
Oh no.
Wonderful and delightful. Yes. Awesome. Okay. You can make an argument that this was the fight of the night. This was wild, chaotic, and violent. It featured big bumps and concluded with a string of high-impact, high-risk bumps, culminating with Jeff Hardy's latest awe-inspiring swanton, another to add to the scrapbook. There is an argument to be made that this was the righteous moment to win the titles, but the Hardys are just incredibly important to TNA right now, and having them hold the titles is understandable. Bear Bronson was fantastic here. He took big bumps, showed great fire, and was the heart and soul of the bout. Who knows what the future holds for him, but this was as close to a breakout performance as it gets, even without the awe-inspiring, high-risk stuff others around him executed. And where do the Righteous go from here? Totally unique tandem. They should have won the titles long ago. Perhaps that window might be closing now. I don't know. We'll see. But this was an absolutely incredible match. Had the feel of a TLC match in this. I mean, wow. 4 1/4, 4.5 stars. I don't know what else there is to say except MF. If you're chanting, you still got it to the Hardys, I got news for you. They never lost it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, history being made and the crowning of new tag team champions. Absolutely phenomenal job. There's really nothing more to add on this one. So yeah, we're just gonna move right on along, and that does lead us to the main event of the evening, and it was Nick Nemeth, call your shot. He gets to call it for the TNA World Title. It was him versus the champion Mike Santana, winner of the bout in 15 minutes, and new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the wanted man, Nick Nemeth, wins the championship. Anthony Florio, history was made. Unprecedented crowning. Nemeth wins the title.
But there's one other thing before the match. Mike Santana narrated a video package, and we have another new inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame, and this one is very close this is a close to home for UMF. Conan is going into the Hall of Fame. So you got ODB, the Amazing Red, and Conan. They're going to take their rightful places in the TNA Hall of Fame as part of Bound for Glory, October the 11th in Tampa. So I know he's been through a lot, but I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be a very emotional moment. So when Conan, when we get to that moment on that night, but yes, Conan going into the Hall of Fame, and the godfather of AAA. So, oh, awesome. Anywho, any match with talent like Mike Santana and Nick Nemeth involved is going to be strong, and this was no different. It was never overthought or overbooked. The match had great storytelling, some incredible fire from Santana late, and a finish that made sense based on everything that preceded it. Nick Nemeth is still an outstanding worker, so him holding the TNA Heavyweight Championship for the foreseeable future, I believe, is a great choice. Santana might be the best pure babyface worker in wrestling right now. It's impossible not to find one rooting for him. It's impossible not to find anyone rooting for him as the match goes on and genuinely wanting to see him win. It is that connection that helps make a finish such as today's that much more effective. And Nick Nemeth is still great. Is he older? Yeah. Is his body probably racked with pain after years of taking wicked bumps? Probably. But he can still go better than the majority of the guys on the roster. And he's like 45, 46 years old. Give it up for that. So, Nick Nemeth, once again, the TNA Heavyweight Champion. I think he's going to hold it until Bound for Glory. That's just my thought, but we'll see what happens. We still have some other pay-per-view events to come. So, give this in excess of 3.5 to 4. That I think that's the correct rating for this. And I'm not surprised that Nemeth won the title here because there is a rumor going around MF that Santana's contract is coming up.
Yeah.
So, and if that's the case, then they had no choice but to give Nemeth the title here. And if that's the case, the rumor going around is that Mike Santana could be WWE bound sooner than later. And if they do get Mike Santana, oh boy, business going to damn sure pick up. So 3.5 to 4, not much more. MF, your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, 3.5 to 4, absolutely correct call here, Anthony. Could have it been better? Yes, but I'm not gonna be that kind of a guy and start questioning every little thing. I thought they did an incredible job with it. So yeah, really nothing more to add. Well, that's it for the TNA. Now we go into the Great American Bash. So here we go. NXT Great American Bash, and we're going to start it off with the NXT Championship match. Yeah, believe it or not, the championship match started the whole damn thing here tonight, and it was Naraku going one-on-one against Tony D'Angelo, winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 10 seconds, and still the NXT champion, it was Tony D'Angelo. Solid opener, really good matchup. I really had nothing bad to say about it. There wasn't any commercial breaks in this. They let the match feed through the entire fight, which I absolutely enjoy. And yeah, well done. So I give this about 3 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.25 for this. Despite the build, oh, hold on, I'm getting all these things in my face. All these squares in my face. Okay. All right. Despite the build and attempted hype, D'Angelo versus Naraku felt fairly ordinary when it finally went down, beyond relying on the silly-looking bandaged eye as an obvious target. Hot open to the match, a rushed build, and the promise of Naraku delivering evil amounted to a fairly standard TV-level title defense. It is a shame that NXT was not ready to reveal anything big with Naraku, or at least sell him as a bigger threat to Tony D, who was battling a bandage nearly over both his eyes down the stretch. But it is what it is. So not much more. 3.25. Michael Bullock, come on back in, Mr. NXT. It's your turn now. It's your show, the Great American Bash. Tony D still the NXT champion.
Yes, he's still the champion. I'm going to give this 3 stars, and there was never a doubt. I thought Tony D was going to retain. I mean, it's too soon. I mean, Naraku will have his time, but now wasn't the time for him. So 3 stars for me. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on to our next match.
It was Tatum Paxley versus Zarya for the Women's North American Championship. And it was Zarya winning the match in 14 minutes and 8 seconds. Anthony Florio, the champion, remains the champion.
This was significantly more dramatic than the opener. Zarya and Tatum got more time than in their first match and made the most of it, battling with physical intensity. While the result was expected in the end, Zarya and Paxley continued to keep the momentum fast to sell that either woman could win it down the stretch. The two sold this as climactic struggle where both were willing to give up a finisher kick out for the drama, delivering some memorable images of shock and awe near the end. Zarya needed to retain. This is likely the end of Tatum in NXT, and she could find herself back to working with Lyra Valkyria on Raw following Lyra turning following Lyra's heel turn last Monday on Raw against Bayley. The immediate goal in NXT should be to portray Zarya as an unstoppable force, possibly even letting her challenge for the Women's Championship while still holding the North American Championship. This is the time to solidify who the top names in NXT are. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, Zarya should be near the top of that list. Plain and simple. So there's not much more to add to this. So I'm going to give this a solid 3.5 stars. Very good match. Correct outcome. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Zarya still the champ, and who knows? It could be call up time. It could be main roster time for Tatum after this.
Yeah, I could see her see Tatum going to Monday Night Raw and reuniting with Lyra Valkyria. So I could see that happening. But yeah, this was definitely the right outcome. I mean, Zarya. I mean, she just won the title. I mean, it's too soon to take it off her. And plus, you want to build her as this unstoppable force. And yeah, this is the right way to do it. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. 3.5 stars. It's yours, Fletch.
3.5, absolutely agreed. I think it was a solid matchup to say the very least. Really not much more to add. Next up we had was Shiloh Hill versus Tristan Angels. Shiloh Hill winning the match in 13:05. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3.25 stars. I mean, it was a solid match here, and so yeah, there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
After the stupidity and the campy comedy of the Mr. NXT, this match should never have been as good as it was. And once again, color me surprised, just like where we were talking about the AJ Francis and Elijah match from the TNA Slammaverisary had no business of being anything good. This match had no business of being anything good, and it actually, I'll call it maybe sleeper fight of the night. I would say this was easily 3.25, 3.5. And Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Solid matchup. But there was a point where it was a little forgettable beyond the odd horror sequence under the ring. Hill and Angels have solid chemistry. And Angels has done, and clearly Shiloh Hill is a priority star for NXT. And there's no point in delaying the inevitable. He should be on track for the North American Championship. And Tristan Angels has done solid work so far in NXT and has the talent to go far. But he's going to need to build some credibility after losing multiple times to Shiloh Hill. Another LFG product under the name Nathaniel Cranton. They changed his name to Tristan Angels. So he's a solid worker. But he needs a little more seasoning. So I'll give it 3.25 for the effort. So with that, let's move on.
All right. With that said, we do indeed move on. Next up on the fight card we had was Ren Sinclair versus Ariana Grace for the NXT Women's Speed Championship. Now, remember, in these Speed Championship fights, it's a 5-minute time limit. 4 minutes, 45 seconds. It was the time of the fall, winner of the bout, and still the NXT Women's Speed Champion, Ren Sinclair, Michael Bullock. I believe this goes to you, my friend.
Obviously it's short, even though it's like you said, it's a championship match. It's a 5 minute match, so I'm gonna give this about maybe 1.5 to 2 on this one. So it's your sledge.
I'll give you the 2. I thought it was a fun little sprint. Both women did very well. I thought they utilized their time very well done. And yes, I know 5 minute time limits not the cup of tea for either of us because of the fact that we're not a big fan of the speed titles. But this was a fine match. It was fine for what it was worth. Nothing more to say. Anthony, obviously, if this was a regulation match where you can give them more time, I think this would have been an absolute banger. But 2 stars basically off the rip for these two ladies.
I'm actually going to be a little more generous on this. I'm actually going to give this 2.25 to 2.5. Fine TV match for TV. The only criticism, it never sold itself as worthy of the Great American Bash spotlight. Ren Sinclair wrestled circles around Ariana, intentionally selling that the challenger was far from ready to fight the champion. By the time this match started to move, it was over, and Sinclair once again showed she is far beyond needing the women's speed champion limiting her ring time. Ariana Grace and Birthright moved to the back of the line beyond Lexis King's oddly booked men's speed championship reign, and it is very hard to get excited about anything the group is doing. And I'm just gonna say it as this: Regal, Finley, get involved. They gotta get Regal and Finley in there. Run if they have to.
Yeah.
Because until then, MF, I'm sorry. I respect the talent that's in that group. I do. Don't get me wrong. But for right now, if we're gonna keep getting, if Shawn Michaels and them are gonna keep booking these folks to keep losing and looking like dorks and geeks, how can I take them seriously? How can we take them seriously? Regal, Finley, get there now.
Yeah,
I agree with
that. I can't take them seriously either. I mean,
Yeah.
they're nothing. That group is nothing more than a bunch of dorks. I'm sorry.
I kind of have to agree with it. I wish they do something better, but unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know why they're not utilizing. I'm a little surprised on why they haven't brought in Regal or Finley at this point. Yeah, I'm a little confused too. But it is what it is. So we just move right on along. Next up, we have was Saquon Sugars versus Dion Lennox. Saquon Sugars wins the match in 14 minutes and 19 seconds. Who leads off on this?
I think it's you.
Oh, it's me. Okay. Good match, solid fight. 3.5 stars is my rating for the match. Obviously, this was a breakout for Saquon. I thought this was a breakout for Saquon Sugars. Now he's out of the shadow of Dark State. And even though after the match was over, they did do a beat down on him, so he still has to deal with each member because he just took out Dion Lennox. So now he's got to probably take out the other 2 just to get back at steam. But at the end of the day, solid fight. I loved it. 3.5 stars. Anthony, go.
Yeah, 3.5 stars is the correct rating for this. Another match. I got to be honest. This was another match that had no business being any good, and it had any right to be. It may have had a little too much time for what it was trying to accomplish. Lennox spent the final stretch treating every single move like the finish, but the crowd was not buying any of it. When Sugars got to the finish, it almost felt anticlimactic since Sugars does not have an established finisher of his own. Both men were in the business of hitting moves, but did not weave in the story that they presented on Tuesday. No hesitation in Sugars, nor was Lennox obviously outmatched at any stage. Post-match attack made sense, but made the action feel pointless if the goal was simply for Dark State to end it standing tall again. It may have been best to simply keep this short and sweet, allowing Sugars to overwhelm Lennox. It was a fine match, but if I'm going to be honest, it went a little too long. It didn't need 14 minutes. You could have taken some of that time and given it to the main event, with all due respect. But it is what it is. So I'll give this in excess of 3 to 3.25. I think that's the best I can go. So, Michael Bullock, quick thought.
Yeah, 3.25 for me as well. I mean, yeah, you pretty much said everything. So I think it's main event time.
Not yet there, Bullock.
Nope.
We're not there yet. I think we still got one more match before we get to the main event. Next up we did have was Miles Bourne versus Tavion Heights for the North American Championship. The winner in 12 minutes, and still the NXT North American Champion. It's Miles Bourne. Anthony, it is yours.
3.25 stars. Unlike any other match on the card so far, helped by the grappling experience of both men, they were focused entirely on rolling and suplexing. Tavion drove the pace and looked like the more impressive competitor in this style. He also continued to sell his growing frustration at failing to keep Miles down. With 2 commercial breaks, this verged on longer than it needed to be, but both men sold the emotion of the match enough to excuse it. Biggest disappointment was another tease without resolution. Commentary sold that Heights was winless against Bourne going into this bout. Throughout, Heights questioned if he needed to do more to win, but he never showed that he was willing to actually get underhanded and remained friendly afterward. This would have been a perfect chance to have Tavion turn heel here, especially on a night lacking for newsworthy results. So, but it is what it is. So, I'll give it about 3.25 for the effort. Not much more. Michael Bullock, your thoughts quickly?
Yeah, 3.25 for me. I mean, yeah, I mean, no surprise with the outcome, but yeah, I thought Tavian Heights would possibly turn heel, but obviously, you never know. Maybe they'll do it eventually. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. Solid matchup. Really nothing more to add on that. We now go to indeed the main event of the evening. As Michael Bullock was alluding to, he actually gets to lead off on this, by the way. Kendall Gray going up against Lola Vice for the NXT Women's Championship. Winner of the bout in 15 minutes and 10 seconds. And new NXT Women's Champion Kendall Gray wins the title. Michael Bullock, it is all yours, my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars. I mean, what? I mean, yeah, what a match this was, and definitely, I mean, what a moment for Kendall Gray. I mean, we've been so high on this young lady, Fletch, and she finally gets her moment. Finally captures the NXT Championship, Women's Championship. Yes, and yeah, what a moment for her. And yeah, it was definitely a big night for her and Ren Sinclair. But yeah, there's really nothing. So now the question is, what's next for her, and what's next for Lola Vice now? So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, Kendall Gray finally has her moment.
The one thing that we've been saying is that Kendall Gray is the future of women's wrestling. This girl is such wise beyond her years and has easily become one of the most popular and most amazing stars in all of professional wrestling. So, like we said, this one is absolutely incredible. And yeah, really nothing more to add here. So, big fan, no doubt about it. And 3.5 stars is my rating. Anthony Florio, history made, unprecedented crowning. Kendall Gray is finally the NXT Women's Champion.
I can't say I'm surprised. If we had done a preview, I would have picked Kendall to win the title here. Because especially with this being the main event, when Mr. Stone made the announcement that this was going to be the main event, I immediately had the feeling Kendall's winning the title. There's no question. And I'm not surprised I was right. 3.5 to 4 stars. For me, this was the fight of the night. Crowd was into the action, but loudest in that second half, with the support for the challenger was as palpable as it can get in the Performance Center. The home stretch was excellent, especially the memorable double pin, and the two perfectly capitalized on that energy into the finish. While Kendall has not been in NXT long, this still feels like it was a long time coming. Lola got her veteran run, but NXT belongs to Kendall Gray from here on out. Kendall has proved herself in the ring time and again, and hopefully the championship spotlight will allow her to refine her promo style in the coming month. Lola will rebound, still holding the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships alongside of Mr. Iguana, and it would not be surprising if the main roster wanted her called up before long. And her family was there. Both of their families were there, honestly, and that made it even more special. They made this a big fight field because of the backgrounds that these two have. Lola with her MMA background and Kendall with her amateur wrestling background. I mean, the perfect choice. They got the main event for this absolutely spot on. There was no other match that could have main evented it. Maybe the NXT Championship, but honestly, with what happened in that match, they definitely got the main event right on this one. And they got the outcome right as well. With all due respect to Lola, she's great, but this was Kendall's time. So I'm going to tell you right now, before I give it to MF here, it's the 3.5 to 4. It's the fight of the night, and I'm going to go on the record right now. Kendall Gray is my breakout star of this year right now, hands down.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
Move on.
All right. So with that said, we are done with at least our portion. But I do got one last little thing I wanted it to cover. Like I said, I was gonna cover the FIFA World Cup. As we were gonna cover the FIFA World Cup that went down today. Knockout stages have begun. And now, guys, we are at the point that it's literally win and you're in, lose and you go home. This is the equivalent of the NFL playoffs. You can say that the first round was kind of like our version of the. You can say that the knockout, the group stage is like our regular season. Now we're in the playoffs. Now we're in what we like to call the knockout phases. So let's dive in. The first match of the knockout stages went down earlier today, like I said, and it was Canada going up against South Africa. Canada winning the match by the final score of 1-0. And it was one goal scored in the 92nd minute. It was from Aquesto representing Porto. If you're a Porto fan, the Portuguese soccer player he's a player for Porto in the Portuguese soccer league, and he gets the goal to send them over to the next part. He sends them to the round of 16. Big win for Canada. They had 14 shots, 7 were on target. South Africa had 6 shots with 2 on target, and South Africa had more of the possession in the game, as they had 58% of the possession to 42%. But at the end of the day, the big victory goes to Canada. They move on, and they will now await the winner of their next matchup. As I pull up, let me pull up the bracket quickly if I can, without trying to jeopardize my thing. I guess I can do that. Yeah, here we go. I can get here, and they now await the winner of the Netherlands and Morocco. That is the next. That is going to be the matchup, and that game will be played on the 4th of July. And it will be in Houston, Texas. The game was held in Los Angeles today, and that is the setup from now on. So really nothing more to add. That is it. We are done. On Tuesday night, we do it all over again with Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. He does Monday Night Raw, NXT, the fallout from the Great American Bash, and then we will have other things down the line. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. And until then, so long for now, and bye-bye.